What if you stopped making decisions for a week and let an AI make them all for you? That's the experiment I ran. For 7 straight days, ChatGPT decided what time I woke up, what I ate for every meal, what workouts I did when I worked, what I worked on, and even what I did for fun. No overrides, no cheating. Whatever the AI said, I did. The results were genuinely eye-opening. Some of it worked shockingly well. Some of it was an absolute disaster. And I walked away with lessons about AI that I never could have learned from a tutorial. This is the full breakdown of what happened, what worked, what failed, and whether you should try it yourself.
Before the experiment could start, I needed the AI to actually plan my week. Here's how I set it up. I opened ChatGPT and wrote a detailed prompt. I told it my goals. I wanted to be productive at work, cook more meals at home, exercise 4 times, read for 30 minutes a day, and get 8 hours of sleep. I told it my constraints. I work from 9 to 5 with a lunch break at noon. I have a gym membership. I have a budget of about $70 for groceries, and I don't eat seafood. I asked it to create a detailed 7-day schedule covering meals, workouts, work blocks, reading time, and sleep, with specific times for everything. The AI responded with a genuinely impressive plan in about 30 seconds. Monday through Friday had structured work blocks with specific task categories: deep work in the morning, meetings, and email in the afternoon. Each day had a specific breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snack, all using overlapping ingredients to minimize waste. Workouts were scheduled for specific days with exercises listed. Even my evenings were planned. Monday was reading, Tuesday was a walk and podcast, Wednesday was meal prep for the next day. Honestly, looking at the plan on paper, it was better organized than anything I'd ever created for myself. The structure was clean, the logic made sense, and it felt achievable, but a plan on paper and a plan in real life are two very different things.
Let's start with the wins, because several things genuinely surprised me. The biggest win was the meal plan. I've tried meal planning apps before, and they were always either too restrictive or too vague. But the AI's plan was practical, because it designed all 7 days using overlapping ingredients. I went to the grocery store once, spent $63 under budget, and had almost zero food waste at the end of the week. The meals themselves were mostly good. Nothing was gourmet, but everything was edible and reasonably healthy. The AI had correctly understood that I wanted simple, quick recipes, not elaborate cooking projects. The second big win was time blocking at work. The AI scheduled my mornings for deep, focused work, and my afternoons for meetings, email, and lighter tasks. This is a productivity technique called energy matching. Doing hard work when your energy is highest. I'd read about it before, but never actually implemented it. Following the AI schedule, I got more done before noon on most days than I usually do in a full day. The structure removed the mental overhead of deciding what to work on next, which is a bigger productivity drain than most people realize. The third win was the workout schedule. The AI gave me a sensible mix: 2 days of strength training, 1 day of cardio, and 1 active recovery day with a long walk. It was realistic. It didn't tell me to work out 6 days a week or do anything extreme. It felt like a plan I could actually maintain long term.
Now for the disasters, because there were some doozies. The first problem was the wake-up time. The AI scheduled me to wake up at 6 a.m. every day to fit in a morning workout, reading time, and breakfast before work. On paper, that's fine. In reality, I am not a morning person. By Wednesday, I was exhausted because my body was not adapted to suddenly waking up 90 minutes earlier. AI didn't know my chronotype, whether I'm naturally a morning or evening person. It just picked a time that made the schedule work on paper. The second disaster was the complete absence of buffer time. The AI had me going from task to task with 0 gaps. Finish a work block at 10:30, immediately start the next one. Eat lunch in exactly 30 minutes, then back to work. But real life doesn't work like that. Tasks run long. You need a bathroom break. A colleague calls with an urgent question. By midweek, I was constantly behind schedule because every small interruption cascaded through the rest of the day like dominoes. The third issue was that the AI had no concept of energy fluctuation. It scheduled my hardest cognitive tasks for Friday afternoon, which is objectively the worst time for deep work. It didn't understand that most people have an energy crash after lunch and are mentally depleted by the end of the week. And finally, the AI scheduled social and relaxation time in rigid blocks. Wednesday evening, socialize for 90 minutes. But you can't schedule human connection like a meeting. Sometimes a conversation runs long. Sometimes you're not in the mood. The rigidity made the personal parts of the schedule feel forced and unnatural.
After 7 days of living by an AI-generated schedule, here are the biggest lessons I took away. Lesson 1. AI is an excellent planner but a terrible dictator. The plan it created was a fantastic starting point. The structure, the logic, the ingredient overlap, the energy matching, all genuinely smart, but trying to follow it with zero flexibility made me miserable. The real value came from using the AI's plan as a template, and then adapting it to how I actually felt each day. Lesson 2. Decision fatigue is real and AI eliminates it. This was the most unexpected benefit. Normally I spend a surprising amount of mental energy deciding what to eat, when to work out, what to work on first. Having all of that pre-decided freed up a huge amount of mental bandwidth, even on the days when I deviated from the plan. Just having a default to fall back on reduced stress significantly. Lesson 3. You need buffer time. This is the one thing I'd change immediately if I did this again. I'd ask the AI to build in 15-minute buffers between every task and a full free hour each evening for overflow. Life is messy and schedules need to breathe. Lesson 4. AI doesn't know you. It doesn't know your body, your energy patterns, your relationships, or your preferences unless you tell it. The more context you give it, the better the plan. If I did this experiment again, I'd spend twice as long on the setup prompt, telling the AI about my energy patterns, my chronotype, my work style, and my social needs.
So should you let AI run your life for a week? My honest answer is yes, but with caveats. If you're someone who struggles with structure, who feels overwhelmed by daily decisions, or who wants to break out of a rut, this experiment can be genuinely transformative. Even the failures taught me something valuable about how I work and what I need. But here's how I'd recommend doing it. Don't start with a full week. Start with a weekend. Ask ChatGPT to plan your Saturday and Sunday meals, activities, a workout, downtime. Live by that plan for 2 days and see how it feels. You'll quickly learn what kind of planning works for you and what doesn't. Then, if you want to try a full week, you can use what you learned to write a much better prompt. The key insight from this whole experiment is this: AI is incredibly good at generating structured plans. It's terrible at adapting to real-time reality, so the best approach is a hybrid. Use AI to create your plan, then give yourself permission to modify it in real time. Treat it like a GPS. When you hit a roadblock, the GPS recalculates. Your AI plan should do the same. Don't abandon the whole plan because one thing didn't work. Just adjust and keep going.
Here's the full recap. The AI-generated plan was genuinely impressive on paper, structured, logical, and better organized than anything I'd created myself. The wins were real. The meal plan cut my food waste and grocery spending, time blocking boosted my productivity, and the workout schedule was realistic. The disasters were also real. The wake-up time ignored my biology. There was zero buffer for real-life interruptions. And the rigidity made personal time feel forced. The biggest lesson is that AI is an excellent planner but a terrible dictator. Use it to create structure, then adapt that structure to your real life. And if you want to try this, start with a weekend, not a full week.
That's the full breakdown of my week living under AI rule. If you found this experiment interesting, try it yourself, even just for a weekend. Tag me on social media with your results because I genuinely want to see how it goes for different people. If you want more honest, no hype content about what AI can and can't actually do, hit that subscribe button. I post twice a day with practical AI guides, experiments, and tool reviews. Drop a comment with the one thing you'd want AI to plan for you. I read every comment. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.